In this video, we're going to take a look at some of my recent, some of my ongoing and some of my upcoming hobby projects. And why the hell I got this. Let's start off with the game that ended up in #1 in the games that I was looking forward to in 2025. I've been spreading the gospel of Moonstone for the better part of 3 months now. I've known Moonstone for a couple of years now, but I was kind of reluctant to try it because I didn't think there was a community to play the game with. But at the end of last year, I found out a demo was held at a board game convention here in the Netherlands. And this is when I met the people from Een Kleine Wereld, a local game store. Alex from Een Kleine Wereld didn't only offer me lumpia's, but also a 10-minute demo of the game Moonstone. When my girlfriend later came up to me and said, "I think the minis are kind of cute," it was an easy decision for me to pick up the starter box. Now, I can go on and on about how amazing this game is, and I will in a upcoming Should You Play Moonstone video, but for now let's get back to the hobby desk. Now, my troop of choice for the Moonstone League that I'm in is a pure Fawns list under the Lesjevold faction. And I've been painting these guys up quite quickly. The thing with Moonstone minis for me was that I always imagined I'd really take my time with them and see where my painting skills are now. Because I've been painting for about 5 years, so I wanted to see some progression. But in the end, the Moonstone League had already started and I just wanted to finish the minis. So for speed painting purposes, I chose to use the slap chop method. And I've known about this technique for some time now, but recently people have been experimenting with it a lot and I thought I'd do the same thing. In slap chopping, you prime with a dark color, then dry brush the midtones and the highlights. This will make a perfect starting point, a base for the speed paints. Speed paints will tint the shadows, the midtones and the highlights, and since there's different values in them because of the dry brushing you just did, it makes for interesting and good looking results. Now, I didn't exclusively use the slap chop method for these minis. I always kind of try out different techniques as I go. On the fonts, I already sprayed an off-white kind of yellow zenithal highlight after priming, and I did some OSL on Gloom's lantern. But the slap chop method really gets me where I want to be with the mini for a good tabletop ready look. I can always add additional highlights or do some layering like we do with the normal acrylic paints. For the bases, I use some of the products that I got from Temu. I made a video about Temu and if we should really buy from sites like that. A video can be checked out right here. And I'm really happy with the bases of these fonts. They are a little bit different from the ones that I used for my Commonwealth humans. For them, I used a cobblestone texture roller and green stuff to place them in one of the towns of Tauber where Moonstone takes place. Okay, so yes, we get it. I like Moonstone, but what else is on the hobby desk? What about a new grand scale army game? As you may or may not know, I'm getting into bolt action with my buddy Rick. And boy, did we get in deep with this game. I got the US Army starter and the US Airborne Army starter. And my buddy Rick got all of this. We are both preparing our armies to try out the brand new 3rd edition rules that were released late last year. I am super excited to get into this and I'm actually filming everything that happens. Like, what is the experience like for a beginner getting into historical wargaming? And a video about getting started with bolt action will be out later in the year probably because it's going to be a big one. If you're excited for that, subscribe. I assembled my US Airborne starter set and I think I've decided on a paint scheme for them. Now, this is not going to be an army for winning any painting awards. I want it to look good as a whole on the table. I start off with a black primer and use Lauren Forest through the airbrush to speed things up a bit. I then dry brush the dudes with a lighter green, give the helmet one coat of Castellan green, the gun stocks are Mournfang brown and so are the boots. I give the boots a thinned down Rage Brown instant color by skill 75, kinda like a wash, and that is basically everything except for the skin tones. For the skin, I'll try out different things, but we'll probably end up with a Cadian Fleshstone and then a Fleshstone wash of some sorts. Maybe do some highlighting later. I noticed that a couple, like this officer, they're smoking cigars or cigarettes. I wanted to do that with more models, so I kind of kit bashed myself some cigarettes and some cigars. I want to paint them up, do a little glow effect, OSL, whatever, to make them a little bit more interesting. And there's a lot of smokers in this one. I'm also really excited to get going on my Sherman tank. I'm probably going to have a few Sherman tanks in the end. I love the Sherman tank. And I'll probably use mostly an airbrush for this and then spend some significant time weathering everything. Now next up, a few boxes that I got. God, we are only in March and these are actually new in addition to the Pile of Shame, which I made a video about. Check it out right here. The one that I'm most excited for is this one. Dead Man's Hand Redux. This is a new version of a Western themed skirmish game that has been out for some time. This new beefy starter set was sent to me by Great Escape Games and a video about it will be out very, very soon. And then I got this. Yes, FOMO struck again. Yeah, I got the Brutal and Cunning box for a few reasons. 1, terrain. 2, Redlings. 3, Orcs. I'm a simple man. It's a great box. What I like about this box the most is that it comes with an expansion on the Volcus terrain that I already have from the Hivestorm box. And this year I'm really in the process of getting some terrain for the games that I play. Normally I don't really host games at my house, but I want to be able to. And this box, it's great for that. Also for 40k, you know, the Hivestorm box came with so many terrain pieces. This, as an addition to that, will make for a very, very nice 40k table. And speaking of terrain, oh gosh, I got myself some Star Wars Legion terrain in the form of the Shatterpoint core box. Oh god. Okay, so just hear me out. I always wanted to get myself a little squad for Shatterpoint, just to paint up, just for fun. So I did. A couple of weeks ago I got this Hello There pack. It was on sale, it was very, very cheap. Fun, right? But because of me buying that box, I kind of wanted to check what the Shatterpoint prices were doing. What is the core box like nowadays? It was 50 euros. That is like a 100 euro discount. Now when I looked at the prices the next week, it was only 37 euros. And I think now they're out. So they're done with the sales. I think all of them have been sold. I actually played Star Wars Legion on Shatterpoint terrain a couple of times, and the slight difference in skill, it didn't really matter to me. In fact, I think AMG once or twice told us that, you know, use the Shatterpoint terrain for Legion if you want. But does it mean that I'm not going to try out Shatterpoint? I mean, of course I'm going to try out Shatterpoint. This box comes with like 16 miniatures, everything you need to play the game. And you know what? The game might surprise us all. I've actually been hearing a lot of good things about Shatterpoint, so yeah, should you play Shatterpoint in 2025, the video will definitely be there at some point. Just give me some time. A few months ago I made a video about the games that I looked forward to the most for 2025, and I got kind of burned in the comments for having 90% GW games in that list. While it was still a personal list and I don't think you should take offense to it, I get what you mean. But I've been playing GW games a lot, and this year, 2025, is really for me finding out what other games are out there. Because I read about a lot of games, but I haven't played all of them. Moonstone is a prime example of a game that I read a lot about before getting into it, and when I played it, I fell head over heels with the game. So basically all the suggestions that you guys put in the comments, I really take them serious and I look up games that I don't know. I know about most of the games, but I haven't tried them all. And that's where I'm trying to go in 2025. So apart from the suggestions that are great in the video, another thing that the video did is I got contacted by a couple of publishers who want to send their game to me. Like Dead Man's Hand, for example. This is also a new way for me to find out about new games, and there's another game already shipped to me that I'm definitely going to do a review about as well. Now, all of this doesn't mean that I won't stick to games like Kill Team, Star Wars Legion, Moonstone, and Bold Action in the future, because I'm playing those games. So naturally, content will come for those games. I won't forget about them. And now the video you're watching right now, it's coming to an end, and I really made it for the people that subscribe to my channel, to give you guys a little update, to keep you guys in the loop on what's going on, you know, with all the boxes, all the things you might see. This is the current state of my hobby desk. Keep commenting, keep giving me suggestions, and maybe consider joining my Discord as well. The link is in the description below, and we talk about miniature wargaming all the time, different kind of games. It's usually a lot of fun. So I'd like to close this one off really by saying thank you for everybody who subscribed, who comments, who likes the video. Please keep doing that. The channel is steadily growing, and it's a great thing to see. I have a lot of fun doing this stuff, making content for YouTube, and yeah, thank you. Thanks for being here, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.